So, kind of wasn't expecting all of this madness to be going on as planned, but with the whole COVID-19 pandemic, it's kind of thrown the world a little bit into a frenzy. A lot of us has been forced to do, some of us, like students like me, we've had to do our schoolwork from home, and believe me, some of the college courses I'm taking are not really all equipped well for online measures. It's been affecting a lot of businesses, the economy's been hit, but damn that this pandemic will not stop Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Excuse you, Healy. That crazy son of a bitch. He's actually gone on ahead with it in WrestleMania. I was kind of looking forward, unfortunately, with everything to do for Mania weekend, with TakeOver Tampa, which sadly got canceled, and all those matches are going to be airing across NXT Weekly Show, the Hall of Fame, which has been postponed. But Vince McMahon, like life itself, finds a way. And in this case, he's doing WrestleMania, but it's not just he's not just trying to do it, or has done it, I should say, because it's actually been taped. That's a first. And not only has it been taped, it's also been aired, or is gonna air, across 2 nights. Hence the tagline you see on the poster pictured here, too big for just one night. Which I was hoping they would actually just announce all the matches that had descriptions on Wikipedia, just stick with that, split the card out, give them the amount of time that they deserve, and we could put on TakeOver quality shows both nights. Boy, was I a fool for thinking that, because damned if he won't, Vince McMahon is still padded out Mania to hell, and then some. I mean, 16 matches! And I thought last year's card was a fucking nightmare to deal with. It still is, but there's a whole lot of filler on here. There are a handful of matches that I'm looking forward to, but I don't know. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous with all this going on. I'm not gonna lie. I'm Coffee Lover 239, and with me as always is Heathy. I hope you're holding up well, Heathy, despite all the madness going on.
Well, I'm an introvert at heart, so it's always good to have a bit of normality, even through these troublesome times. Hope you're doing well. Good to be here.
Yeah, I'm doing fine myself, and I feel like I'm part introvert myself in a way, other than going out just for schoolwork and stuff, but now, that's not happening. And, for the time being, I have to do all my stuff online, of course. And we have another special guest with us as well, actually. It's Steven. Say hi, Steven.
What's up, guys? Yeah, I'm the special guest for today. Usually, I'm not usually active this morning, but yeah, I'm here. So,
Yeah, it's good to have you aboard, man. He's been here for almost 1 year now as well. Hard to believe, ladies and gentlemen.
last year's WrestleMania, precise, I believe.
Yeah, around there. We're getting to that point almost, maybe a little after WrestleMania, but it's almost 1 year for you, Steven. So anyways, we're all hopefully holding up fine despite the madness, and maybe this show might take our trouble off our minds for a bit. But let's actually break down this card. I'm not gonna hold the pandemic against them here that forced them into these circumstances. But what I am going to do is what I've always done with this damn podcast. Call it like I see it. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Our first match is Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the NXT Women's Championship. Yeah. So at the Royal Rumble, Charlotte Flair won the Women's Royal Rumble match, which angered me in person because I was like, damn it, you could have given it to Shayna. Well, she got her match anyways, but you know what? That's beside the point. So Charlotte won the Women's Rumble, earned herself a Women's Championship of her choosing at WrestleMania, and on February 3rd episode of Raw, Flair stated that she had defeated the Women's Champions of both Raw and SmackDown, Becky Lynch and Bayley respectively. And so we don't need to have those matches again because we've seen Charlotte and Becky to the death, and Charlotte versus Bayley not as much, but I'm not interested in that, to be honest. And she's held those titles multiple times. Granted, a good chunk of those reigns really haven't meant shit because they haven't lasted that long, but I digress. She was then interrupted by Rhea Ripley, the NXT Women's Champion, a title that Flair had only held once during NXT's infancy in 2014. Ripley declared that Flair should challenge her as she had defeated Flair, but Flair had never defeated her. Oh yeah, Survivor Series. I remember that. When her team, Team NXT, beat the SmackDown Women's and Raw's team, and they won that night in general, no surprise. Anyways, Flair continued to delay giving an answer until Rhea had defended her title at TakeOver Portland on February 16th. After Ripley retained her title at the NXT event, she was ambushed by Flair, who accepted Ripley's challenge for a match at WrestleMania, marking the first time that a Royal Rumble winner chose an NXT championship to challenge, with the title itself being the first NXT championship to be defended at the event. My issue with this match mostly is kind of the outside thing, because you have Charlotte Flair, my issue was having her win in the first place for this very damn reason. Had you had Shayna win the Royal Rumble, it would have been perfect. Easy, simple call-up to have her choose it. Both matches would have been fresh, but we know which obviously one would have been. This, though, they booked themselves into a damn corner, and we're like, oh shit, we had to give Charlotte this match because she's complaining about how she's being booked, even though we're just racking up her title wins faster so she can match her dad's record. But seriously, though, I honestly don't have a whole lot of excitement for this match. Ripley is still finding her own as the NXT Women's Champion still. And unfortunately, with Charlotte in the mix, you could say it's a power move against, Wednesday Night War Madness, but it hasn't really been turning the tide in their favor. Anything, I think the opposite has happened, but I don't know. I'm sure the match itself will be fine. I mean, both are good in the ring and all. But just the story and how they booked themselves into such a damn corner, it's like, who do you think's gonna win?
Personally, I feel like this is probably the one match that benefits the most from being in the empty arena. That's been sort of the build, not, the whole pandemic, but the whole thing that Charlotte was NXT champion, but she ascended up to the main roster and she became this global superstar. While Rhea still really hasn't got a taste of that big time. We had Rhea enter that empty arena saying how it's going to be filled with people, she's going to live up to expectations, but now that we're moving to the Performance Center for Mania, it's really more... Yeah, it's more in Rhea's wheelhouse, so it's an even playing field, and maybe it suited Ripley because there's not really that much of a... Of course, the WrestleMania, but part of that nervous energy comes from the people in the crowd, and there are thousands, hundreds of thousands sometimes watching the match. Rhea's been booked pretty well, especially in the run-up to her becoming champion, and ultimately I don't think WWE would have an NXT superstar and the brand itself be built up so well just for just like a Raw or SmackDown superstar to take the NXT title from them. It screams backwards booking to me. So I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley because I think she's the next big thing in the women's division, and you can't really have her be established if she doesn't beat Charlotte here. So Ripley to win.
Exactly. Though the problem with that, if I had to mention something, is that Charlotte's usually been complaining about the way she's been booked. So if she takes the hit here, who even knows what they're gonna do to try and make it up to her later? Because that Rumble win was a way to make it up for her only making Becky 2-belt, no longer Becky 2-belt, only to get knocked off her pedestal by Bayley that same night at last year's Money in the Bank. Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
I think it's really tough because you had Rhea Ripley who beat Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Champion, and then you have Charlotte Flair who beat Asuka's record.
Don't remind me of that. Ugh.
Yeah. So I feel like if I had to choose one, Rhea Ripley.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Alright, and alright, and on that note, I'm gonna go with Rhea Ripley as well. Sorry, but Charlotte's gonna have to take a loss here and there. It's a shame Rick had no problem doing that back in the day, but now Charlotte all of a sudden just... I don't know, but it seems like the jury is unanimous in Rhea Ripley winning. Our next match is Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. From the Royal Rumble winner who didn't deserve her win to the Royal Rumble winner who did deserve his win. Rightfully so, and yes, here's one I'm actually looking forward to. Feeling as though nobody deserved an opportunity to challenge him at the Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, which I've already established what code word is that for. Raw's WWE Champion Brock Lesnar decided to enter himself into the Men's Royal Rumble match as entrant number 1. Lesnar dominated the first half of the match, which put us in the crowd on edge, until he was eventually eliminated by Raw's Drew McIntyre. And the crowd went crazy for that, and Drew McIntyre would later go on to win the whole damn shebang, earning himself a World Championship match of his choosing at WrestleMania. The next night on Raw, McIntyre announced that he would challenge Lesnar for the WWE Championship at the event. At super lame down, Lesnar retained the title against Ricochet in very quick fashion, might I add, keeping him as the defending champion against McIntyre at Mania. I have to say, this match I think a lot of people have really been so damn excited for some time. I mean, McIntyre himself practically, when he came back to the company, reinvented himself. People were desperately wanting to see him get that big push. And finally, after having to sift through 2 trios of alignment, one of them being Baron Corbin's first mid-card Vortex incarnation. That was dark. Sorry for reminding you of any of that. He's finally risen above that. And not only was he booked like a damn beast in the Rumble, eliminating Brock and winning the whole damn thing, but he's really just been... The crowd momentum has been on his side for a while, you know? People have really been getting behind him. And I definitely think this is the chance to put the belt on him. If anything, I feel bad for him as well. Like, I feel bad for a lot of these people. Like, for some of them, their big moments, like Ripley and McIntyre. Because it's going to be no fans in attendance, don't think I quite mentioned that in the intro, but whatever. But because of that, that whole Aurora, part of it I feel is going to be hurt a little bit. But eventually, hopefully it shouldn't hurt it too much, though, in the long run. But we'll have to see. Heathy, who do you think's going to win?
I mean, I can understand the excitement. The general consensus before this whole pandemic hit and WrestleMania was put in jeopardy was Drew McIntyre was finally going to have his big moment in the main event, dethroning and conquering the Beast for the WWE Championship. But now that we're in this situation, people seem to think that they're going to hold off on Lesnar getting defeated and going to have them retained. But here's the thing. It does suck that if McIntyre was to win here, it will be in front of no one, and it would maybe not feel as grandiose as one would if it was in front of 80,000 people. But still, if you might as well pull the trigger on him now, because if you give McIntyre a rematch for the title when he wins it, it's going to make the whole coronation just feel less important and less impressive than if he would do it the first time.
Exactly.
I feel like they have to pull the trigger on him now, and plus we don't know how many dates Brock Lesnar has, and if WWE do actually want to use him after Mania. I don't think the MT Arena should be a hindrance to Drew's title opportunities. So yeah, I'm gonna go with what I would have gone for had WrestleMania been in a full arena at the Raymond James Stadium. I'm gonna go with McIntyre to win.
Yeah, and not being in the full arena though also means we wouldn't get that cool pirate theme set up. They might still do some CG graphics, but the thing is, though, when you're actually in the arena, you don't actually see them. Believe me. And, Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
I believe Drew McIntyre. I mean, it's his time. 10 years ago, they said it was his chosen one. He was the chosen one back then. And then back in 2013, they made him look like a jobber when he joined,
3MB. Oh, God, that was a mess.
Don't mention that. But now, I think this is his time. This is his moment. His WrestleMania moment.
So you're going with McIntyre.
Yep, McIntyre.
And it seems like, again, the jury is in another unanimous decision because I am going with Drew McIntyre as self. Again, it is his time. They need to capitalize him on this. And who even knows how long the part-timers have left, actually. In fact, our next match, we're going to one with the damn part-timer. It's like, from one match here, we get the highest of the highs, where I swear on my ship, for my favorite ship, which you guys should know by now. The highest of the highs to our next match, which the path we took to get there was the lowest of the lows. Yikes. Help us for this next one. Thank God I've got plenty of Kraken rum for this. So, this is a little awkward. The graphic on you're seeing right now implies Goldberg versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Unfortunately, there's been a slight little setback amongst all this madness. Actually, when I say slight setback, I mean a big setback, and that is, it will not be Roman Reigns himself. And unfortunately, at the time of the recording, this WWE has not announced it, even though it's already been widely reported, and that Roman himself let the cat out of the bag. So, yeah. So who's it really gonna be, though? The rumor going around is that it's Braun Strowman, who's to replace Roman Reigns, but I'll get into that after the description of the match. So, after winning, after stealing the Universal Championship at Super Lame Down from The Fiend in a match that just straight up angered me and a whole bunch of other people, WWE Hall of Famer Goldberg appeared on the following night's episode of SmackDown and issued an open challenge by stating his catchphrase, "Who's next?" Roman Reigns interrupted and had a stare down with Goldberg before accepting the challenge, saying, "I'm next." Boom. And then the match was scheduled for WrestleMania. Yeah, that was the basis of it, only it would have been a completely different rant for me. However, on the March 26th, Ryan Satin, who's also one of the correspondents on WWE Backstage, reported that Reigns had requested to be removed from the match, being at an increased risk for COVID-19, as he is in an immunocompromised state from his previous health issues with leukemia. Yeah, his immune system is a bit compromised. Immunocompromised. And Reigns himself confirmed the report and stated that WWE honored the request. Triple H also confirmed the report in an interview on ESPN SportsCenter. You know, I find it very funny that when fucking Goldberg wins the belt and then all of this mess happens, it's like the world literally goes to shit. Not quite, but in a bit of a frenzy with Goldberg as fucking Universal Champion. Does that strike you all as a fascinating coincidence, or is it just me? I don't know. Ultimately, though, what I am gonna tell you is that, yeah, what happened was, and this is what I heard, is that when Miz turned up sick, apparently, that upset the Usos in the day of the tapings. And the Usos, Roman's cousins, Usos and Roman had a little bit of a talk, and ultimately, what happened. Reigns pulled out of his match, and he will not be challenging Goldberg. Now, like I said, the rumor going around is that Braun Strowman, the pussy among men, Mr. himself, is actually going to be the fucking one. And I'm thinking, oh god, it goes from bad to worse. Because I was not looking forward to Goldberg versus Reigns. Not only was the match not given any reason, not only was Roman just handed an opportunity on a fucking silver platter with no build-up to work for it, no nothing, but now you go from him to fucking Strowman, who's kind of, not only has he not been booked well as of late, I mean, he fucking loses the goddamn Intercontinental Championship in a 3-on-1 handicap match with Zayn, who pinned him, barely doing any of that fucking legwork with his shit ring attire. It was a mess. And you're gonna put Strowman in the ring with Goldberg? Say what you will about Roman's character, but his in-ring stuff, he could at least get a halfway decent match out of Goldberg. But Braun, oh man. Imagine him Goldberg trying to pick up Braun for a jackhammer. He'll just barely, you can't do it, and then Braun just falls on top of him, 1, 2, 3. That would actually be hilarious if that would happen, just for the absurdity. But now we're screwed. This is why you shouldn't have fucking taken the Universal Championship off the Fiend, Vince. Now look at this mess. We're stuck in a predicament. Do we keep the title on a part-timer who is not scheduled for any further dates as far as we know? Or do we put the title on a guy who's technically a full-timer but hasn't been booked well and pissed off pretty much the entire indie wrestling community? What do you do? What do you do, honestly? Like, oh my god, oh, you should have never fucking had the Fiend loss like that. That was horrible. I will never fucking let them live that down as long as I live. Help me out here.
When I look at Goldberg, I see a 2K20 superstar with weight detection of 210 pounds. Once you're 209 and under, you can hit a suplex. Easy. But, once you get past Dolph Ziggler levels of weight, you just get a really weird brainbuster. Roman Reigns pulling out this match. Not ideal, of course. I mean, part of me was kind of looking forward to seeing him beat Goldberg. I like Reigns a lot more than I like Goldberg. That means I hate Goldberg much more than I hate Reigns. I just don't like part-timers as champions. I think this is a well-known fact of pretty much everyone here. But they've got Braun Strowman. It hasn't been announced. As the time of this recording, it's currently about 7 p.m. my time and about maybe 1 to 2 p.m. Coffee's time.
1:36 my time, and it's about 11:36 Steven's time.
Yeah, and so this is on a Friday, and SmackDown's on tonight, and we're expecting Strowman to be announced as the competitor. I think WWE just need to go with what they were planning and have Goldberg lose. I think Goldberg's transitional champion. I mean, that's all he ever needs to be in a time like this. We don't know, much like Lesnar, we don't know how many dates Goldberg has, and if he's willing to even do tapings. We know he can't really go in the ring like he could, maybe even like about 3 years ago, back at 33, when he was halfway decent then. But now he's just past it. So even if Braun Strowman kind of fills that Big Show role that Big Show had like 2 decades ago when he was the transitional champion himself, I feel like Strowman's sort of earned that in retrospect of all that he's done. And also, he can't lose another Universal title match. That would just absolutely bury him. We throw the term buried around a lot, but this will be his 6th world title loss. Can't happen.
Well, it'd be his 4th Universal title lost overall.
And they're quickly stacking up. I think they just need to get ballsy and just go with Strowman here. So yeah, I'm going to go with Braun to win.
Yeah, I see. And Steven, who do you think's going to win?
Well, I'm not sure yet. I do know, but before I get my results, I just want to say I think I know why they put Goldberg as Universal Champion, because what happened last year's Super Showdown. Can you think about that?
Oh God, him and Undertaker. Jesus, that match was painful.
And I can see why they put him as the champion as of this year's Super Showdown. They want to make it up. But your question is, who do I think is going to win? If I had to predict, maybe either if it's Roman or Braun, I think Braun Strowman might take the Universal Champion. And then again, remember what happened? That pay-per-view that I do not want to mention. Braun Strowman versus Brock Lesnar.
Don't remind me. I know, man. I know. I was pissed there. You should have seen me that day, man. I fucking took a day off for that shit. I swear. And I want
Braun Strowman to take that title away. I want Braun that has a good reign as a Universal Champion. I really do. I really want Braun to pick up a W with the title.
And it seems like we are in yet another 3-way unanimous decision, because I just want Braun to win. It's probably going to be him more than likely, and replacing Roman, and just Goldberg gets gassed after 5 minutes easily. And that match that was at last year's Super Showdown against him and Taker showed it. It was painful. You cannot keep the belt on him for this long. But given how some of this madness is going on and how it may affect tapings, I know the state of Florida, where the Performance Center is, has issued a statewide stay-at-home order. Not sure how long it is gonna last. If I could quickly look, stay-at-home order, Florida. It pops in right onto the bench. Yeah, wait a second here. If I could just find it. If something would just show up here so I can take a look. It's supposed to be a 30-day order at least, so pretty much the month of April is compromised. And if we want to get off on the right foot when things pick back up normally, you want a full-timer as fucking champion. And even though Braun, with his shit going down in all this way, I don't have a choice. I have to go with Braun Strowman on this. I just hope they can turn him around after all the shit that he's been through. Alright, we can take a step back now and focus on a match that I think we definitely at least do have some excitement in. Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler for the Raw Women's Championship. I knew this match was going to happen one way or another, even though Shayna didn't win the Royal Rumble. I knew it was going to happen. Now, here it is. Okay, prior to Survivor Series, a rivalry began between Raw's Becky Lynch and NXT's Shayna Baszler. At the event, Baszler won the non-title brand supremacy triple threat match between the three brands' women's champions by submitting SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. An irate Lynch attacked Baszler following the match and put her through an announce table. Still gotta make the man look strong. Man comes around, you little weirdo. Oh, whatever. Anyways, after losing her NXT Women's Championship, Baszler appeared as the 30th entrant in the Women's Royal Rumble match. Unfortunately, yeah, we know what happened there. And following Lynch's title defense on the February 10th episode of Raw, Baszler ambushed Lynch and went all Vampire the Masquerade for a minute and bit her on the back of the neck, thus reigniting the feud. Baszler was then entered into the Raw Women's Elimination Chamber match at the namesake event, where she single-handedly eliminated all of her opponents to win and earn herself a Raw Women's Championship match against Lynch at WrestleMania. Baszler is definitely one who was due for a call-up sooner or later, and this all happens to work out so well. It's almost been 1 year since Becky's title reign, or 1 year since Becky won the belt at last year's Mania in that triple threat match. And Baszler, her time, I think, even despite a few bumps in the road with the biting and all that jazz, but who knows, yeah. Still, though, excuse you again, despite this, the build-up, well, it's been fine, I suppose, itself. I mean, that Elimination Chamber match was not exactly great from a technical match standpoint, but it was what I expected. I expected Baszler to go in there and pretty much wipe out the field, no problem, and yeah, that's what I got basically, so I can't really complain there. And yeah, it seems as if Becky's time as champion is running out. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, this is the match that I think we can keep it short and simple. You don't have Shayna Baszler make a monster statement inside the Elimination Chamber, eliminating what, 4 or even 5
She
of
eliminated every other field. All 5 of them fell to her.
It's like if I was on a WWE game, put the game on easy mode, and then started at the Elimination Chamber, I'd just eliminate everyone, one by one. I think if you have Shayna do such a show such a dominant display at the Chamber and have her not win against Becky Lynch, that one makes Becky Lynch absolutely unstoppable, because you see this monster just get toppled by the man, and you're not really going to have any other competitors, and you also stunting Shayna Baszler in the process. So I think this is the easiest one to predict out of all the matches. Maybe I'm going to go with Baszler to become champion.
I see. And Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
I think Shayna Baszler's gonna pick the W, and here's why. In this year's Survivor Series, we're gonna have Team NXT and Team SmackDown, just like last year. But we're gonna have Shayna Baszler as the Raw Women's Champion versus Rhea Ripley as the NXT, and I think maybe Charlotte Flair if she goes to SmackDown this year, and then that'd be a good match. That'll be a good match. Those 3. I really want that match to have at Survivor Series this year. I really think.
So you're going with Shayna Baszler.
Yeah.
Alright. That would actually not be too bad of a match, actually. I'm thinking about it. Yeah, but it depends, though, on what they do for SmackDown. And, again, another unanimous, no surprise. Baszler needs this win. I think they can do a lot good with her. She'd be a breath of fresh air for the Raw women's roster, and we could get some exciting matchups, I feel. So, Yeah, and Becky Lynch has been wanting to take time off as well after Mania, so possibly to get married to, not the Messiah, who we'll get into later on, but yeah, I'm going with Shayna Baszler on this one to win. Oh boy, this match is going to be something. John Cena versus The Fiend Bray Wyatt in a Firefly Funhouse match. So, you know what was sad? If The Fiend was still Universal Champion, and in a way, this would have been Cena's 17th title reign, everything would have all come around together, and just, the stakes would have been higher in the story, you know? I would have actually been way more invested, because neither man could afford to win, neither man could have afforded to lose, but we got screwed worse than Bret Hart back in 1997. And now, look, now I feel it's only excuse me, and we're only halfway there. And let's just go into what happened, how we got here. So John Cena, who last appeared during the Raw reunion in July of 2019, made his return from hiatus during the February 28, 2020 episode of SmackDown to address his role at WrestleMania. Seemingly announcing his retirement, Cena declared that he would not be appearing at the event, stating that WrestleMania spots should be earned. As Cena gave a farewell salute to the audience from the stage, the lights went out. When they illuminated, The Fiend Bray Wyatt appeared behind Cena. The Fiend then pointed to the WrestleMania sign, signaling a challenge to Cena, who simply nodded in acceptance. Hey, John, what was that you were saying about WrestleMania spots should be earned? Oh, God, hypocrite. So a match between the two was then scheduled for the event, being a rematch from WrestleMania 30 in 2014. And on the March 27th episode, Wyatt challenged Cena to a Firefly Funhouse match, which was made official. Oh boy, what the hell is it gonna be? I don't know, but it better be better than that fucking House of Horrors shit we got in Payback 2000 and... Was it Payback 2017? I think. Yeah, it was him. It was Bray Wyatt and the Eater of Worlds and Randy Orton. And, like, it was some pre-taped shit. And then basically, then they finished the match in the arena. So, yeah. Yeah, it was Payback 2017. Now, like I said, had the Universal Championship been involved, this could have all come around back together. Everything would have been so more important. This is the match that should have deserved the fucking Universal Championship. Not what we were going to get initially, but then that got torpedoed and blew up in their face. What a crime. It really is. Because all you have is just Bray Wyatt avenging his loss. And that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. A lot of people said that that loss that Bray Wyatt suffered back at Mania 30 hurt his career, and in a way, it did. It stalled him out for a good while. And, man, oh, that was painful. But here now, it all comes back around. I just wish the Universal Championship was involved to make it really more important. Either 17th title match or Bray Wyatt avenge, either 17th title or Bray Wyatt avenges. And if they really wanted to make the stakes more interesting, they could have also possibly had it to where if John Cena doesn't win his title, then he retires. That would have really raised the stakes. But no, they screwed us for a Dollar Bill who can't go more than 5 minutes. Heaty, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, the sort did by itself, and I would have loved a Reigns Goldberg no title match. And also, even if you wanted to push the envelope a bit, have Wyatt and Cena be a number one contenders match when it faces Goldberg on the next night.
That's what I was thinking. Redemption.
Yeah, but it's just the normal singles Firefly Funhouse match, and I know normal and Firefly Funhouse doesn't really go together, but there you go. History always would tell you that Cena wins the matches that he's supposed to lose, and Wyatt loses the matches he's supposed to win. But I don't think, with the loss to Goldberg and also earlier in late last year, that god awful Hell in a Cell with Seth Rollins, that decision.
Jesus Christ, man!
I went to that event.
Yes, he did. Steven did go to that event, indeed, and I still feel bad for you, man. I still feel bad for you. Continue, Heavy.
I don't think WWE are gonna mess up a third time with Wyatt. I feel like that's just a three strikes send you out thing. I think that's what breaks the character if they have Cena go over here. And Cena's doing his Hollywood thing. He's going part time. Wyatt needs to win this match. I feel like he needs to come out on top here just to get some shred of redemption, and maybe that you can start the character rebuilding. And just don't give him the title for a long time because, as you know, WWE can't book a champion Wyatt. They just can't. Just keep him as a singles competitor. Have him do all the good feuds, and then see what time brings. But for now, just have Wyatt win and keep him well away from Universal title.
I agree. And Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
Don't get me wrong. I like John Cena. I'm a huge John Cena fan since day one. But I think the Fiend's gonna win. I like both of these guys. Great competitors in the ring, outside the ring. You know, the Fiend. I believe the Fiend's gonna win.
Yeah, another unanimous Fiend for me as well, because after his fucking loss, man, he needs to bounce back hard. And we know WWE can't book champions for shit.
Especially when John Cena faced The Undertaker at, wait, was it last year? No, wait. Was it 34? It was 30 WrestleMania 34. That was just a squash match by John Cena. That match was stupid. I don't know.
I didn't mind that match all that much.
As Randy Orton would say, stupid.
Yeah, but seems like we're in another unanimous decision. Oh boy. Oh, another answering machine madness. Whatever. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Fiend for me as well. Our next match is a fatal 5-way. Bayley versus Lacey Evans versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks versus Tamina in a fatal 5-way. Yeah, for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Wait, yeah. Bayley, Lacey Evans, Naomi, Sasha Banks, and Tamina. Now this match... Wait a minute. Uh-oh, I think we've hit a deadlock, guys. Yep, here we go. This is our first of many matches that have no description. That was just filler, half-dash slapped together. I can't give a shit about it, quite frankly. What I can tell you, though, is that this match was originally supposed to be a six-pack challenge elimination match with Dana Brooke in the midst. However, Dana Brooke had to quarantine herself and was pulled from the match. But with her being so low on the pecking order, again, getting pulled, and I'm like, fascinating coincidence? Me. Yeah. Regardless, it is a little half-dash slapped together. I kind of can't give a damn, to be honest. Lacey Evans already had a turn at the Rumble. I don't get why she's still in there. Naomi had her turn, Super Showdown. Tamina, actually, I think she's lower on the pecking order compared to Dana Brooke, but she's just there. It's like, do you even still work here? That quip was funny. And then there's Sasha Banks. Now, there have been rumors that this was supposed to be a one-on-one match, but it wouldn't have had enough build-up, and people want, like, I feel if you were to have Bayley and Sasha one-on-one, you need to have a good amount of build-up, and they want to tear the house down and make the crowd go wilder than their first match at, what was it? Was it the original TakeOver Brooklyn, I believe, if I remember? It's been a while, actually. It's only just remembering. Yeah, it was the original TakeOver Brooklyn where they had that match. But yeah, here, it's just, like I said, you could sack this match off the card, and I don't think too many people would be crying a foul over it. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
I'm going with Tamina because nobody's meaner than Tamina. No, I'm gonna go with. I don't know. I mean, I feel like it was supposed to be Bayley Banks. Then this whole thing happened, and it's just been added a few others, making it just a smorgasbord of varying women's talent in this match. I feel like this is going to be a catalyst for a major feud down the line, and I think it's going to be Bayley and Banks. I think they'll work together to get everyone out, and, you know, I don't know what they would plan to do if there was final two, if they would just leave and just have nothing happen. But I feel like it's going to be Bayley, who's going to be, I know she's already a heel, but maybe a double heel turn on Banks, turning Banks' face in the process, and Bayley setting up a future match with Banks at SummerSlam by beating the ever-loving crap out of her and finally pinning her to retain the title. So I'm going to go with Bailey here.
I don't know about that, to be honest. Like, I feel Bailey's heel turn, I don't want to say it's been a complete bust, but it's not been what I think a lot of us wanted it to be. We not just still her as a lackey, and I do think Sasha can work better as a heel, so if anyone should be turning, this should be a double turn. It should be Banks going heel and Bailey going face, because clearly I feel she's better at face than heel. As Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
Definitely Bailey. I don't see Lacey, Naomi, or Tamina. Maybe Sasha, but I think Bailey should keep the title no matter what. Bailey's definitely gonna win this.
I'm feeling a little deadlocked myself between the choices. I mean, what do you do? If you wanted to do something notable in this match, like I said, you could have a double turn. Have Bailey and Sasha work together to get everyone else out. And then probably it would be Tamina first, then Naomi, then Lacey Evans out, and then it would just be down to these two. These two exhibition, but in a shocking twist, Banks turns on Bailey, wins, and then you could use that catalyst down the line and actually give Bailey a better babyface run. I don't know, I'm just thinking here. I am deadlocked. I'm not actually sure who to pick. I could have us all be unanimous again, but I don't know. Actually, maybe. I don't suspect Sasha winning, and yet I'm just gonna go with Bailey on this one for now. I feel like now I'm trying to put more effort into thought into this match than I should. Alright, next. Our next match is The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. I almost said him backwards, whatever. In a boneyard match. I bet you're asking, dear viewers, what the hell is a boneyard match? This would be a little tough to explain, but from what I heard, it's gonna be something that AJ explained on his Mixer, because he streams on Mixer. From what I heard, it's gonna be something about basically a buried alive match, but because of this whole madness going on, they're not gonna use that name, and that it's gonna take place in an actual cemetery, because the Firefly Funhouse match and this match are going to be taking more cinematic liberties, kind of like what we've seen with some of that broken Matt Hardy stuff, or even what WWE tried a few years back with House of Horrors. Something a little more cinematic and out of the norm, Alright, how did we get to this point, though? Well, if I could just find it. Here we go. At Super Showdown, AJ Styles was our participant in a gauntlet match for the two-way trophy. Final participant Rey Mysterio was ambushed backstage by Styles' OC teammates Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, prompting Styles to declare himself the winner by forfeit. The referee gave Mysterio until the count of 10, during which the camera cut backstage, showing that Gallows and Anderson had been attacked by The Undertaker, making a surprise return. The Undertaker then made his entrance, taking Mysterio's place. Well, I guess when Mick Foley attacked Test at the 2004 Royal Rumble and took his place, I guess anything's fucking possible at this point, and performed a choke slam on Styles to win the match and the trophy. Yeah. And on the following Raw, disgruntled Styles mocked Undertaker for still wrestling, and kind of rightfully so, given what happened, and what the hell Taker's been through, and issued a warning. Undertaker then appeared at Elimination Chamber and cost Styles his no disqualification match with Aleister Black. The following night on Raw, Styles taunted Undertaker by bringing up his wife with Michelle McCool, blaming her for why Undertaker keeps coming back to wrestle. Yeah, that's totally it, and not any of that sweet Saudi money, baby. I digress. Styles then challenged Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania. A contract signing for the match was concluded the following week. Styles then challenged Undertaker to a boneyard match, and the challenge was accepted the following week on Raw. So yeah, I kind of don't have a whole lot of expectations about this. They have been teasing shades of Taker, like mixing in a little bit of American Badass, but not fully quite, but less Deadman-ish, and who knows what's gonna happen, actually. Who knows what's actually gonna happen here. I don't even know what to expect, kind of, for this match, if I'm being honest. I mean, AJ probably could get a decent match out of Undertaker, and with this crazy stipulation, who knows what's gonna happen. Heathie, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, I feel like AJ Styles saying that Undertaker's a worn-down old man is a bit hypocritical. I mean, Styles is no young buck either. I mean, he's close to being old yeller than he is to being a bushy-tailed rookie. So,
But he's still good at what he does, though.
Yeah, then again, broken hip hindered Undertaker. If he was healthy and where he was now, maybe he can do a few good stuff. But he can't. I don't think he can do the Tombstone anymore, which sucks. But back to the point. This is, I think of the WrestleMania, where we don't really know what to expect. I mean, it's an empty performance, and if anything else, there's going to be a lot of eyes on this product. You know, disaster does create intrigue, and and times like these is where the creative juices really start to flow out from WWE. I think they're one of the best at making the best out of a bad situation. And WrestleMania is no different, and maybe a prime example. So I think with a lot more eyes watching, what better to do than have The Undertaker win at his event? I mean, AJ Styles is at a point in his career now where a loss like this would definitely not hinder his career. In fact, it may even boost it a little bit, just to say I was in the ring with Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's like with John Cena. Even he got squashed by Taker at 34. He came out of it none different. He didn't really compete after, but I think that was just other commitments that was taking over his schedule. Yeah, I don't see any negative in having AJ lose here. I think I see negatives in AJ winning here. I don't think Taker can really afford another loss at Mania. That's really when it's time to say he needs to hang up, and I don't think he's done with wrestling just yet. So Taker to win, and I'm going to guess that the Holy Trinity are Biker Taker, Big Evil Taker, and Deadman Taker.
Yeah. And Steven, who do you think's going to win?
I think Undertaker might win on this one. You know, he still has, he might be old, but it's the Undertaker, man. You gotta respect the Undertaker. He lost to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, and you know what? He should retire after Roman Reigns. I'm glad he didn't retire after Brock Lesnar, because that match with Shane McMahon, that was a good match. That match with Shane McMahon was a good match. So Undertaker's gonna win that match.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Undertaker as well. I suppose in a way, he's one of the few opponents that can elevate someone. So like even if like the opponent loses, and AJ, well, he may be winding down in his career, but even a little elevation from Undertaker would be probably nice for him. So I'm gonna go with Undertaker as well. Our next match is Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins in a plain old singles match. So old KO is gonna take on Not the Messiah, which Steven keeps stealing my fucking quote for, and he can't even spell Messiah right. It's not that bad.
Messiah, he's a very naughty boy. Now go.
You had to steal the bit where I quote Monty Python. Good going, you. I should have known that out of him. This is what I have to deal with sometimes, ladies and gentlemen, but you know what? That's not here and now. Let's just talk about how we got here. So, at Survivor Series, Seth Rollins served as the captain of Team Raw for the Men's Survivor Series elimination match, but questioned Kevin Owens' loyalty to the team due to Owens appearing at NXT TakeOver War Games, even though it was only just to get back at, what was it? Wasn't it to get back at the Undisputed Era? Yeah, because, originally, it was supposed to be, what is his name? Because Team Ciampa, well, they didn't really have a fourth man originally. Matt Riddle had to, apparently bow out or some stuff or whatever, or was it always against Finn Balor? I don't remember, but some people had to pop out like originally planned, and so, Kevin Owens was the one who came in and, helped Ciampa defeat the Undisputed Era. Let me see if I can remember. I couldn't look here, but it doesn't matter too much anyways. Oh yeah, I remember now what happened. Yeah, it originally was supposed to be Matt Riddle, but then he had to bow out because Balor was going to face Johnny Gargano, but Gargano got injured. Ah, now I remember. Anyways, back to this match though. Raw suffered a devastating loss at Survivor Series, only winning one of the 7 interbrand matches. Rollins criticized the Raw roster for their poor performance and again questioned Owens' loyalty, who responded by performing a stunner on Rollins. Wham! Psh, I can't. Owens then became the target of the Authors of Pain, Akam and Razor. Although Owens accused Rollins of being behind AOP's attacks, Rollins denied the accusations, though he ultimately joined with AOP, turning heel. Rollins then began to refer to himself as the Monday Night Messiah and recruited Buddy Murphy into his new faction with the Authors of Pain. Rollins and Murphy won the Raw Tag Team Championship together. At the Royal Rumble, Rollins eliminated Owens from the namesake match thanks to help from his disciples. Anyways, Rollins and Murphy lost their titles on an episode of Raw, and during a rematch at Elimination Chamber, Owens cost them their match and performed a stunner on Rollins afterwards. The following night on Raw, Rollins challenged Owens to a match, and Owens accepted for WrestleMania. Needless to say, this whole Messiah crusade has been embarrassing. It's like I always quote that line from Monty Python's Life of Brian every time because it's just so embarrassing in a way because it looks so horrible. It's just, look at him, like, just, oh goodness, oh my. And so KO is probably gonna go put him in his place, and yeah, Edie, who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, we're looking at this card, and to say that Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins is an undercard match just speaks to the volume of how stacked this Mania card is. I've seen people say that this card doesn't live up to the past cards of yesteryear, or even to the last few years. I think it's one of the strongest cards WWE has ever put on. It's just the situation just puts us in a bit of a bad situation when it comes to looking at this card, and just I think we associate it with the dire straits that WWE are in right now. But yeah, this is one of the best built storyline matches in the card, maybe? I don't know. I mean, it's been booked way back since November, and they've been consistently, feuding ever since then. From the town hall meeting to Rollins aligning himself with the AOP, to Kevin Owens aligning himself with Samoa Joe, to the Royal Rumble debacle with the falling outside the ring there. I feel like it's just been built really well, and I'm glad that these two are finally getting the payoff. You did mention about how Becky Lynch may be taking a break after her match with Bayley. Many to believe that Bayley is going to be the one to dethrone Becky, me included. So in that same regard, I feel like if Lynch is going for a bit of a hiatus, I feel like Rollins will too. And why would you have Rollins win and then bow out? It doesn't make that much sense. So I'm going to go with Kevin Owens to get the win here.
I see. And Steven, who do you think's going to win?
Well, Seth Rollins had great WrestleMania moments, like,
Mania 31. Yeah, that was
Heist of the century.
Yeah, heist of the century.
Beat the game.
And Mania 33.
Won the Intercontinental Champion.
Mania 34.
And then won the Universal Champion last year.
Mania 35. I was smashed for that match, and I hope to do it again.
Well, Seth had a great point. Kevin never had a Mania moment, except technically he did beat
Mania 33. He beat Chris Jericho for the U.S. Championship, but it really should have been for the Universal Championship.
Yeah, to be honest, Kevin should still have that Universal Champion, but I feel like Kevin Owens is like that new CM Punk. Kevin has that great mic skills. Kevin, he, like a pipe bomb moment. He's like that new CM Punk. Like when you face Shane McMahon last year, the whole Shane McMahon versus Kevin Owens feud. That was the best Kevin Owens feud. I think this is Kevin's moment, so I'm going with Kevin on this.
So again, unanimous it shall be for the halfway point. Kevin Owens for me as well, because, he's pretty much got to win this one here. Get revenge on not the Messiah. this show called Naughty Boy. And,
The very naughty boy.
boy, if you don't. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kevin Owens on this one. Alright, ladies and gentlemen. We still have one match with an amount of, you know what, with actual background, but for now we've got about, let me count, 1, 2, 3, 4 matches that are nothing more than filler currently that we're about to run through, so brace with ourselves here. We may be at the halfway point, but we still have this nonsensical filler to get through. Now, the card here, the graphic you're seeing implying it would be The Miz and John Morrison versus The New Day, Biggie and Kofi Kingston versus the Usos, Jimmy and Jay in a triple threat ladder match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship. But alas, this is another match that has been affected as well, because Miz turned up sick to the tapings, and the rumor is that it forced John Morrison to defend it on his own against one of the Usos. They didn't even say which Uso, just one of the Usos. And there's nothing for this. The only thing is that it was going to be a #1 contenders match between New Day and Usos, who neither of which would have been good options, to be honest. But then some chicanery happened, some interference, shenanigans, and then it was made to this triple threat, but who even knows? Yeah, and now that's not happening, apparently. It's just one of the Usos and Morrison. Ladder match still. Man, oh man, what a mess. And I don't have anything else to add. Heaty, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, before we do, I'd just like to give a quick shout out to Christina Applegate. Okay, back to this matchup. Yeah, it sucks. I'm not too sure if Miz knew about if he was sick or not, or if it was just maybe he got his temperature tested and he was running a fever. You could be walking 103 and still feel a bit fine. You know, the symptoms of this virus are asymptomatic sometimes. You don't even know. You could be going about your day and still have that. So, again, if anyone's watching, self-isolate, please do. It's pretty serious. Again, it's getting really serious. Thousands of deaths. As far as this, it just seems like it's going to be a triple threat now. I mean, it's not going to be like they're going to be pairing Morrison and Jey Uso against the New Day. But yeah, so we got Morrison versus Uso #1, I assume, and Biggie and Kofi. I don't think this is a match that has that much weight to it. I know it's for the tag titles, but I feel like these three, are probably going to be doing this feud for a while now. I feel like they have this great chemistry. It was, New Day and Usos always had great chemistry, but with this trifecta, including the Dirt Sheet, Miz and Morrison too, I feel like this whole new dimension has been added, and I feel like they could run with this for a few months. So really, it's a popularity contest in my opinion, and my popularity recency bias would indicate Miz and Morrison, but I'm too much of a smart and a mark for the New Day, so I'm going to go with the New Day to pick up their 6th or 7th tag title reign. They're stacking up, but yeah, New Day's winning.
I believe it's 8.
Yeah, I don't remember either. But Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
I actually think it'll be the Usos.
Ooh,
in my opinion.
Ooh.
Usos. I love the Usos, especially with the whole New Day versus Usos, especially that Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, that was a great match.
And I just want to say, Usos the best tag team in the division as of today. They can't beat any other team. On Raw and SmackDown, NXT's different, but Usos are Usos. I mean, especially what happened to the Usos after what he did, and they gave them the titles after that. I was surprised. I think they gave the titles when Miz and Shane were at Fastlane, I believe.
Yeah, Fastlane. And then last year, like, Jimmy Uso was arrested for DUI, but then the Usos won the belts off Miz and Shane, and then that led to the turn, and then that led to that whole Miz and Shane match, and Miz getting wrecked by Shane, which, that was bad.
Yeah, I say the Usos on this one.
Well, it seems like for the first time we are in a not unanimous, we're deadlocked in our own choices. And I'm not even going to break the tie, honestly, to be honest. We are all deadlocked because I'm going to go with Miz and Morrison. Or rather, just Morrison in this case, since Miz is down and out of action. But wait, He said, though, it was a triple threat, implying that he said, though, New Day, implying that it would still be a triple threat. But that's not what was rumored, though, or what was technically revealed, as it was revealed it's just one-on-one. It's just one Uso and John Morrison. Whatever, who even knows what's gonna happen, even then. Regardless, I'm just gonna go with Morrison to retain them. I don't really want to see Usos with the belts, as I think they've had enough reigns. And if somehow New Day are still somehow involved in this madness, then, yeah, I wouldn't want to see the belts on them either, truth be told. I want some fresh teams, damn it, in the title scene. I would say Heavy Machinery, but Otis is a little occupied at the moment, but we'll get to that later on. But yeah, I'm going to go with Morrison to retain for his team. In our next match is the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, versus another makeshift tag team, though this wasn't supposed to somewhat be the case. Austin Theory versus Austin Theory and Angel Garza for the Raw Tag Team Championship. No build-up on this one either to go about, but what I will say, it was originally supposed to be Andrade, unsurprisingly. Unfortunately, Andrade suffered a rib injury and was pulled from the match. And thus, Austin Theory, who was up in NXT for a little bit, has now been sort of suddenly called in to replace Andrade. So yeah, you go from semi-makeshift to even more makeshift. And because Andrade's out, yeah, no U.S. champion at Mania. Because originally they were going to do some kind of fatal four-way with Andrade, Rey Mysterio, who had to self-quarantine, so he's out of the picture, Angel Garza, and Humberto Carrillo. However, yeah, with Andrade suffering his injury and Rey isolating, that's pretty much forced this to happen. And I don't really have anything else to add either. Heidi, who do you think's gonna win?
Yeah, I mean, there's not really much to add. I feel like it's just a add to the card where, we're supposed to be seeing 8 matches on each show, which I don't mind. Yeah, it does suck that we're having to see Andrade out of the match. But, I mean, if you were to have any replacement, Austin Theory, perfect. This guy is only, 22 years old, 21 years old?
22. He's another one I can throw into the wrestlers who are around my age category. Born the same year as me as well, but he was born in August. So, yeah, I get the leg up here.
Yeah, so he's 20, and I'm just reevaluating my life decisions because, he's only a year or two older than me, and look where he is now at WrestleMania. This guy is special. If you have not seen him, he is, he's got the charisma, he's cocky, he's confident. He's probably another C word that I can't mention, but he is genuinely one of the most charismatic, there's another C word, superstars on NXT. And the fact that Heyman sees a lot on, because I'm thinking it's Heyman who's the one who okayed and greenlit this decision to have Theory on the card. Yeah, it's I can't wait. I don't think they're going to win. I feel like they're going to save. They wouldn't have Theory just get called up to the main roster. Despite the abundance of talent in his body, it's not his time. Give him some time on NXT, and I feel like once Andrade is back, then Vega's little mini stable will end up procuring these titles. But for now, I'm going to go with the Street Profits to retain.
I see. And Steven, who do you think's going to win?
Just Street Profits. That's all I need to say. Street Profits.
Finally, we're back on the unanimous train. I'm going to go with the Street Profits as well. Yeah, because I don't really see Makeshift winning at this point. We've got to work this stuff out. And with the time off after this madness, who knows? But yeah, I'm going with Street Profits to win this one. Excuse you. And next match. Oh my god, why is this flippin' match happening? I don't get it. I genuinely don't. Aleister Black versus Bobby Lashley. What?
With Lana.
No, screw her. What do you want me else to say? It's Aleister Black and Bobby Lashley. They have not interacted in any way, shape, or form on TV. And last I heard, Lashley actually had to self-isolate because he went to South Africa to help promote an upcoming tour that WWE was planning before this whole pandemic kind of put the kibosh on that plans. But I don't have anything else to add. Healy, help me out.
Okay, well, before we start, I just want to say, some people say life begins at conception. I say life begins when coffee lovers horny and ladies be ovulating. Yeah. Anyway, this match. Well, I think it's just an excuse to get Black on the card, and also, it's Lana. You can say what you want about Lana, but Lana gets TV ratings. Maybe just how she looks, or maybe it's just her
I don't get
annoying promos. I know it's weird. Lana equals ratings. 2020, everyone.
I'm not buying it. No, I'm not buying that at all. Continue.
I feel like they would save. I know Black's already lost, but like a convincing one-on-one clean loss has not yet occurred for Black. So I don't think that it's not Bobby's time to get this much of a push. I don't think Black's gonna get blacked by Lashley. I feel like it's going to be Aleister Black to get the winner.
I see. And Steven, who do you think's going to win?
Aleister Black. Definitely Aleister Black.
Yeah, I'm going with Aleister Black as well. Wrapped it up in less than 2 minutes. No surprise, because it was just filler. Next match. Holy smokes. Another goddamn filler match. Elias versus King Corbin. And you think Elias would have been taken out after that SmackDown where, basically, Corbin knocked him off and tried to do a Mortal Kombat-ish fatality just by knocking him off the side of the railing and from a higher structure in the Performance Center, and it didn't work. It did not work at all, and we are still getting this match. And we have our potential host to blame, Rob Gronkowski, for suggesting this crap, and then they go through with it. And might I say, Rob Gronkowski dances worse than emo Peter Parker, and I'm dead serious. And I really just don't have anything else to add. Healy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, the only thing I can harken back to is that Lion King moment with Corbin just. Oh,
I don't
Corbin
know.
just kicking him off.
Just kicking him off like Scar did to Mufasa. Long live the king indeed. Boom.
So, that third, I feel like Elias has either got a broken back in kayfabe, or he has some underlying injuries right there, because how do you fall that high without, you can even bounce his head off the back of the concrete. So, by the way, good use of the camera angles. I hope to see more of that cinematic experience by watching WrestleMania. Vince McMahon loves to make movies. We're going to see one on Saturday and Sunday. I don't think it's going to be Elias v. Corbin, and I know this is kind of breaking the rules predictions, but I don't think that's going to be the match. I feel like he may put up a fight, but it's not going to be Elias Corbin. It's going to be Gronkowski versus Corbin.
Oh God!
As stupid as it sounds, I feel like why else have Gronk be the host if he's not going to get a little bit of action in there? And we may be seeing Gronkowski mojo at SummerSlam, so prepare for that.
Oh God!
So just for the sake of comedy's sake, and for the fact that WWE don't really put much thought into the storyline, so I'm not really going to put much thought into this prediction. But I think King Corbin, in the year of our Lord 2020, will be defeated by Rob Gronkowski, former NFL superstar.
Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
King Corbin. I think King Corbin is going to win this one, unfortunately.
I don't even know what to friggin' pick. Truth be told, I don't see much for Elias, but I guess they have to rebound Corbin after that long-ass feud he went through with Roman Reigns and all that shit. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with Corbin on this one. God forbid Gronkowski actually fucking does take him down, defeats him, and dances over his fallen body, like I said, worse than emo Peter.
When King Corbin feed Roman Reigns dog food.
Yeah. Ah, stop! Ah! That was not a feeding. That was anything but a feeding. Yeah, I'm going... Yeah, he gets too much joy out of this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going with Corbin. And thankfully, we're back on track with a match that has good build-up, and I think is probably the best built match out of this card, and one that I can pretty much say probably all of us are looking forward to. Edge versus Randy Orton in a last man standing match. So after being forced to retire in 2011 due to a severe neck injury, WWE Hall of Famer Edge returned at the 2020 Royal Rumble during the namesake match, blowing the friggin' roof off the building. Metaphorically speaking in a way, of course. And he had a brief reunion with Randy Orton. Edge eliminated Orton before his own elimination. On the following Raw, Edge explained how he was able to make his return. Orton then welcomed Edge back and suggested reforming Rated RKO, but Edge turned on Edge and performed an RKO on him. After attacking Edge's neck with a chair, Orton smashed Edge's head between two chairs in a maneuver known as the Concerto, which Edge had made famous. Edge's wife and fellow Hall of Famer Beth Phoenix appeared on the March 2nd episode to give a medical update on Edge. Orton interrupted and said that he attacked Edge so that he would remain at home and continue to be a husband and father to their children. He blamed Phoenix for the attack, claiming she allowed Edge to get back into the ring. Phoenix then slapped Orton, who in turn performed an RKO on her. Edge made his return the following week on Montel Vontavious Porter's MVP's talk show, VIP Lounge. Orton attempted to attack Edge, only for Edge to perform an RKO of his own on Orton. After Orton retreated, Edge performed the Concerto on MVP as a warning to Orton. Edge then challenged Orton to a last man standing match at WrestleMania, and Orton accepted. Here's another one I have to throw into the feel bad for category because of the lack of fans in attendance, especially because 9 years, ladies and gentlemen, 9 years, Edge finally comes back, this big grand return, and then all of a sudden, because of this mess. Still though, this match should be pretty damn good, and with no fans in attendance, that may allow them to take more liberties that they wouldn't be able to take otherwise with this match. Because last man standing, the build is certainly expected that type of match, and oh boy, I expect some crazy, crazy stuff. Who do you think's gonna win?
First of all, I am so happy Edge is back. I mean, I remember watching the Rumble, absolutely drunk off my mind at 3 a.m. when this music hit. I was crying. I'm sure you were either crying or just yelling insane.
I couldn't believe it. I showed you my reaction, man. You know how I was that day. I couldn't believe it.
And Steve, I'm not too sure if you were, old enough to watch Edge in his final years, but he was something else.
I actually did. Surprisingly, I started watching 2010, and when the WWE won the Royal Rumble, and he challenged Edge for the World Heavyweight Champion at WrestleMania 27, and Edge won, and that was his last match. Well, singles match.
I was privileged to watch Edge from when I started watching WWE in 2007 when I was 7 years old, and just I was like, it was so melancholy watching Edge retire in 2011. So a whole rush of emotion came back, and that's what this feud's built on: emotion, grit, as Edge says, to fight back from this, this near-death incurring injury, this spinal stenosis, where if you would take another bump, say in 2011, later in the year, he could have died or been paralyzed.
I couldn't even imagine. I don't even want to fathom that. It was
it was a miracle that we're seeing him back, and any Edge match we get, we have to cherish because we don't know how long we have left with this great wrestler. This whole storyline, Randy Orton, just a labour of love, signaling the heel turn. I love it. Beth Phoenix's involvement, bringing back that sadistic side of the Viper. I couldn't tell who's winning. This is the one match where I'm genuinely, I have no clue. Who I wanted to win, Edge, of course. Randy Orton, I don't mind, but I feel like Edge needs some sort of redemption of some sort, and I feel like Orton's at the point where he loses, nothing really changes. He's like at that level where AJ Styles and John Cena is, because he's a legend, of course. But I feel like Edge, if he used to lose him, not to say that he would retire for real, but I feel like that would be you come back to lose to Orton while you're still here. You ended on your own terms, and I don't want Edge to end on his own terms. I mean, I don't want Edge to end on his own terms at Mania. I want him to fight a few more matches, but ending on his own terms. Save it for a year or two. Let's have Edge win this match.
I see. Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
Can I just say, I love these two. Like, into, like, you had Edge versus John Cena, you have Randy Orton versus John Cena, Edge versus John Cena in a TLC match back in 2006 in
Well,
a table size of chairs.
That was insane.
I never watched that live, but I watched it on YouTube. It was great. I loved it, and I felt like I didn't watch Edge that. Like, you guys got to know him better than I did. Yes, I saw him, especially when he faced Kane. Edge versus Kane back in 2010. And I love the part where Edge and Kane, Edge got Paul Bearer in a wheelchair, and it was a dummy actually, but Kane pushed all the stuff, and it was actually Paul Bearer, wasn't actually the dummy, and Edge just, Edge is just the man and all superstar, man. You gotta love Edge. I gotta go with Edge on this one, but if Edge wins, after this whole Edge versus Randy, I want to see Edge versus Seth. Especially what happened with the Authority when they tried to bring back the Authority. Seth Rollins tried to curb stomp Edge. I don't know if you guys remember that.
Oh, that was. Ooh.
I'm gonna kill him anyway. Oh.
Yeah. So you're going with Edge, Steven? Steven?
Edge.
All right. Yeah, you cut off a little there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Edge as well on this one. I don't think Orton would probably be too much affected by this loss. So yeah, plus 9 damn years. It's been too damn long. You're gonna make the comeback. We gotta make it count. So going with Edge on this one. All right, we had our fun there. Now we're back on the filler nonsense for the next 2 matches at least. Sami Zayn versus Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. All goons involved in everything. Sami Zayn will have Cesaro and Shinsuke, and Daniel will have Drew Gulak in his corner. And again, nothing's mentioned here. What I can tell you is that somehow, by Drew Gulak beating Shinsuke Nakamura on an episode of SmackDown, in the build-up to all this, that somehow leads to this. Well, hey, you don't want to have the champion and potential contender loss, but it would probably make more sense had Daniel Bryan beaten Shinsuke. That way, it would at least somewhat make sense. But Gulak, it's kind of crazy. Daniel Bryan has taken Drew Gulak under his wing, kind of shifting away from that comedic nonsense that he started out with before he retransformed himself. And yeah, and Sami Zayn, I don't even know. I'm very conflicted with this because Sami Zayn should have had a fucking singles title for a good while, but only now they do it, and how they did it is a bit of a mess. On the other hand, Daniel Bryan's had enough reigns, or at least a decent enough one. Did he? I can't remember. I know he won it at Mania 31 in that ladder match, but unfortunately, it wasn't it after, unfortunately, when he was somewhat forced to retire? Because, like, it was 2015. Give me a second here. Yeah, he won the Intercontinental Championship ladder match at Mania 31, and then that made him one of the 6 wrestlers to achieve the new Grand Slam winning and the 26 Triple Crown champion. Unfortunately, he had to, what was it? Yeah, he was following the April 16th episode of SmackDown. Unfortunately, he was pulled from that mess, and then he had to vacate the belt, like, around on the May 11th, 2015 episode of Raw. So he vacated the belt, unfortunately, and he was out of action for the rest of the year. He was forced to retire for a bit and all that, yeah. So it kind of comes all back for him. So I guess on the other hand, they're both kind of in the same boat, but I don't know. Edie, who do you think's gonna win?
I feel like this is WWE's way of saying, hey, situation, here's a pissing good match. You give these guys 15-20 minutes, they're going to give you a barn burner. I feel like this could have been easily set up as a maybe a ladder match, 5-6 man ladder match. I'm not too sure how that fits in with the rules, quarantining, but it still would have been a good match. But anyway, either way, I'm happy with this match. Sami Zayn, Daniel Bryan, I'm happy that Zayn is a Intercontinental champion now. Kind of sucks after they kind of screwed him over. WWE, that is, screwed him over for the past few years. Should have been champion back in 2016 when Zack Ryder ended up winning it. Who knows?
No, I think it would have been actually closer to later 2016 because I remember.
They
Oh,
had the
yeah, it was.
fatal four-way with Miz, uh, Owens, and Cesaro, if I remember correctly.
No, I was thinking Survivor Series 2016 when it was Sami Zayn versus Miz for the belts.
That would have been a good place to do it. Either way, 2016 should have been Sami Zayn's year, and they kind of missed the mark with him. But I'm happy that 2020 is shaping up to be Sami Zayn's year, despite all the turmoil and chaos. Daniel Bryan has recently stated that he is not going to be full time for much longer. In fact, I think maybe he considers himself more part time than full time. Just give Bryan the title, have him have a load of stellar matches. You know, give him Cesaro, give him Nakamura, give him Zayn, give him Gulak again. Just let him run with that title and have him never lose it. Okay, he's going to lose at some point, but you know what I mean. Just have Bryan hold it for a significant period of time. Sami Zayn, he can always win it back. They can do that. They can do what he usually did in the Attitude Era. Sometimes hot potato into titles isn't the worst thing in the world. So yeah, I mean, why not? Just have Bryan win this match and go with Bryan.
I see. And Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
Man, can I just say, Sami Zayn, he'll say something that people will he will regret. Like when he mentioned AEW, or when he said everyone will go to, I think it was on Monday Night Raw when they said the trash go to hell or something. I remember Sami Zayn mentioned the city, and I can't remember if this was last year. But I think Zayn is a great competitor. I think Bryan's a good competitor. I think Sami got this win. I really think.
Split down the line, huh? So now and this time, I don't have a choice. I have to be the tiebreaker. You both put up good arguments for this, but I don't know. If Daniel Bryan technically would consider himself more part-timer, I don't know how long that tear would go on for with everything going on, possibly. I mean, if Zayn is fully healed enough, at least, which hopefully should be, I mean, the fact that he is should be a sign, but hopefully the two put on a good match. You know what? I think I'm going to go with Sami Zayn to retain. Truth be told, I think he's the one who's more in dire need of building himself back up a little bit, whereas Bryan, not so much, not really. So I'll go with Sami Zayn on this one. Oh boy, here's a division you forgot completely existed, and I wouldn't blame you. Or rather, it's lackluster, and not everyone's all in on this shit, so Kabuki Warriors, Asuka and Kairi Sane versus Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross in a tag team match for the not SmackDown Women's, just the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship. To be honest, does Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross team even have a name? It doesn't look like it. And truth be told, do we really need them back? Friggin' Alexa pinning Asuka with that DDT she does, that is just, And truth be told, it always seems that Cross is the one taking the falls for this madness. It's like, god damn it, you still have to keep overprotecting her and then some. I don't even know. And Asuka's really been the one pulling all the legwork for this because Kairi's been away a little bit. She recently got married, actually, so congrats to her on that. And, I don't really have anything else to add to this. Who do you think's gonna win?
I mean, if I'm going off what Alexa Bliss said in September of last year, I think their name, and I'm being serious, Bliss Cross Applesauce. I don't know.
Oh god, that is. I don't think that's it. That might have just been mentioned as a line in promo that one of the writers did and Vince thought it's such good shit. Continue.
It's good because it rhymes. I don't know. They don't really have an official name. They haven't really said it. That it's not part of the graphic. I think that was just what Bliss said. Who's gonna win this match? I don't know. I think it's. If you look at the definition of filler, this is what you see in the dictionary. This is a filler match for Mania. But all four of these insanely talented women, for God's sake, I want to see Asuka and Kairi Sane just split off and face off in a single feud. It's like we forgot what happened in NXT. So I don't know. I think they're gonna keep Asuka and Sane champions for now. I don't think there's a title change required here. I'm gonna go with the Kabuki Warriors.
I see. And Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
I agree with you there, Oscar and
Asuka and Kyrie.
yeah, I had a blank.
Had a blank, huh? Well, she's been off, so I guess I can't blame you. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Kabuki Warriors on this one as well. I don't think Bliss and Cross need the belts at that moment, so yeah, Kabuki Warriors on this one. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, after that long ass fucking trek, we made it. We made it to the last match. Otis versus Dolph Ziggler. Oh, poor Otis. Alright, on the Survivor Series kickoff pre-show, Heavy Machinery participated in an inter-brand tag team battle royal that was won by Dolph Ziggler and Bobby Roode. I shall not call him Robert. The two teams entered into a feud following the event. Also during this time, Otis started a romance with Mandy Rose. On the February 14th episode of SmackDown, Otis had a scheduled Valentine's Day date with Rose. However, Ziggler arrived first and stole his date like the jerk, Mr. Steal Your Girl, causing Otis to walk away heartbroken. And everyone just could feel Otis's pain. On the March 6th episode, Otis apologized to Rose, who rejected the apology. Ouch. My heart aches even more for Otis at this point. Heavy Machinery then participated in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Eliminator match, where they were eliminated by Ziggler and Roode. Oh, and Otis went through the pod and crashed and burned on the outside, which was insane. On the March 20th episode of SmackDown, Ziggler distracted Otis during his tag team match by showing pictures of him and Rose together, enraging Otis. Just get that Kill Bill siren going in there, which caused Heavy Machinery to get disqualified, thus costing them another title opportunity. The following week, Ziggler challenged Otis to a match at WrestleMania, and Otis accepted. So this is another one that I feel has been hurt again by the lack of crowd there, because Otis, the crowd is just, man, the fans have just gotten behind him so much, so damn charismatic, and it's like, in a way, we kind of all been there in his position to a degree, and like, so in a way, it's very relatable, and so many people have just rooted for him, hoping still that he'll overcome damn Ziggler, and that he'll somehow still get the girl. And who even knows what's going to happen with this match? If Rose turns on Ziggler or something, or cost him the match. And then who knows who the storyline is in cahoots with. Because the text that said Mandy was running late, that didn't happen. And who even knows who was in cahoots with that? Possibly Sonya and Dolph in cahoots? Or maybe Tucker, perhaps, in a way. Man, this storyline is also... I think behind Edge vs. Randy Orton, this is probably one of the other better storylines going on in WWE around this time. Heathy, who do you think's gonna win?
Well, here's the thing. I feel like the meeting where I feel like, okay, so I want to preface this first. Dolph Ziggler I think is going to win, but here's why I think why he's going to win. So I think Otis went to Vince and said, "Hey Vince, who's going to win this match? What's going to happen at WrestleMania?" Vince will be like, "Oh, Dolph beats you and takes Mandy." Otis is like, "Yeah, but everyone wants to root for me, and I'm a clear fan favorite, and it's WrestleMania." And here's what Vince says: "Yeah, but you're fat."
Oh no, let me do it in my Finn's voice. "Yeah, but you're fat." Or as Scott Steiner goes, "He's fat."
And then he says, "Go get wrecked, you fat scrub man." And then he also says, "Dolph's gonna go fuck your wife now."
Is Otis even married? I don't know, actually.
I feel like Vince is just so out of touch that he'd think they're married and that's what he hates married couples that don't.
Yeah, just look at
unquote.
Rusev and Lana, and it doesn't look like old Otis is actually married at the moment, but you never know. You never know.
Yeah, so for that reason, because Vince doesn't like fat people, I'm going with Dolph to win.
And yet somehow Andre was pushed so strongly.
Oh, but he was tall as well.
Oh
Otis
yeah,
was small.
yeah, true. I guess. Steven,
Wait
who
a
do you think?
second.
Steven,
Wait a second, he doesn't let fat people win. Big Show's fat, and they let Big Show win.
Oh,
Again, he's tall.
in a way, yeah, but he's just for a while though. Big Show's weight was so concerning with him though. Like in 2000 they had to like send him down like to OVW actually to try and work on his issues as well. Steven, who do you think's gonna win?
Dolph Ziggler. I mean, Dolph Ziggler has more wins probably than Otis, of course. And Dolph Ziggler, he's Dolph Ziggler. He's as Shawn Michaels will say, he's a What did he say to Dolph last year on Miz TV? Oh shit.
Shawn Michaels wannabe.
Does Shawn Michaels?
Something like that. Looks like I'm going solo with my pick here because just the logical thing I think would make sense would be just for Otis to win. And I don't see any reason why he really shouldn't. But who even knows? I'm hoping, truth be told, that they may go very face-heavy with Mania win. So I'm going to be the lone one out here, the lone gunman, excuse you, and I'm going to go with Otis to win. Woo! Guys, I thought last year was taxing. Oh, it still was, but I think this might be up there neck and neck with it. Truth be told, if I could strike most of the matches off the card that didn't have a lot of build-up, I would strike the SmackDown Women's Championship match off the list. I would strike the SmackDown Tag Team Championship off the list. Raw Tag Team Championship off the list. Aleister Black, Bobby Lashley, Elias King Corbin, Intercontinental Championship, Kabuki Warriors, and Cross and Bliss. So that's like 7 matches. So in a way, we'd have a 9-match card. But truth be told, I'd rather have more quality over quantity. And they still try and do that again. I'm sure most of these matches will hopefully at least turn out decent, at least. That's what I'm hoping for. I will give them the benefit of the doubt, but if it's not, then who knows? Man, maybe it's just the tiredness in me talking, because I am drained by this madness. This whole thing going on with the way the Mania, it's affecting how we all been doing stuff, and all this, man. Oh, it has been draining. I'm not gonna lie. It's been kind of tough, basically, but we still got to get through this one way or another. Hopefully, eventually it does, but I don't even know when. And because of how Mania itself and like how wrestling itself is also being hurt by this, it's possible as well that this might be on hold for a while. I don't know when. The next pay-per-view listed in the calendar is Money in the Bank, which they want to have on May 10th, 2020, but it's likely not going to happen as planned. It's possible that gets moved to the Performance Center, but with this stay-at-home order and this madness, I don't know. I don't know. This is a tiring situation. It's very draining as hell. And I swear to God, when this is all over, I hope that all of us here, everyone watching, and everyone around the world, that we never, ever have to go through something like this again. Because this, I'm not going to lie, it is taxing and kind of tough. We still got to stay strong amongst this whole madness. So, everybody, I mean it when I say stay safe and take care of yourselves, quite frankly. I do want to thank my co-hosts here, Heathie as well, being is here with me. Say bye, Heathie.
Yeah, 2 things. Number 1, do not eat bats. And of course, as always...
And I want to thank you as well, Stephen, for being here with us. Say bye, Stephen.
Bye, guys. It was pleasure to be here today. Stay safe, wash hands, and
yeah, wash your hands, you nasties. I can't do Lacey Evans' voice.
These hands.
Oh God, and the Braun mess. So
and the Monday Night Messiah, boys. The Monday Night Messiah.
Okay. All right, easy there, easy. All right, and I mean it too. Everyone, stay safe as well. Just take care of yourselves, and I hope we'll see you sooner rather than later on next time, because I don't know what's going to be next, and this is not just going to affect WWE. AEW has been affected by this as well. It's possible Double or Nothing is thrown in jeopardy as well, but we'll have to see. Who even knows? I just got to get through this month for the rest of school, possibly first week or so of May, maybe first 2-ish weeks, week and a half. And then I am just, ugh, I need a real nice long break after that madness. Just because I may be at home doesn't mean I have a free vacation. So, I'm gonna wrap this up here, and, we'll see you when we see you next time. So, thanks for watching, stay safe, and, just take care of yourselves, guys.